So 1.6 is approaching in 2 weeks. The banners have been released and you don't know which characters to pull. No worries, I'm here to give you information about these characters and help you manage your pulls. Of course, unless you don't get whacked out by RNGs and send your pulls to Nekomata. First, let's start with the reruns and save the best for last. In the first phase, we have Burnice, our crazy hot pyromaniac that will probably light your house for fun. Sub DPS who only takes 2 to 3 seconds on field time and can easily slot it on many teams. Very good for fire anomaly application and also ideal for disorder focus comps. Can deal a notable amount of damage even off field because of her afterburn effect, which serves as DOT. Deals a ton of damage, and yes, you can even play her as DPS. And lastly, one of the easiest agent to play. Burnice is such a fun character to play, especially on anomaly teams that are focused on disorders. She's the best at applying and amplifying burn disorder fast and consistent. You play her passively on teams that are radiating hotness like Jane-Do and Yanagi, and also you don't have to worry about her not dealing enough damage on field because she's too OP as a off-field sub DPS. It's because of her kit revolving around her marking enemies with a special scorch status, and also using her resource hit while applying enormous amounts of fire anomaly with her strongest skills in the least amount of field time. The only problem you will encounter with her is that she uses energy fast and you need to maintain her energy consumption. Even after a few months since her release, she's still considered as the most OP sub DPS in the game. To sum up, Burnice is the best choice for an anomaly sub DPS, particularly when combined with characters who can benefit from extra field time she provides. Her quick and consistent trigger of disorder is a fantastic addition to any endgame roster if you're looking to further invest on anomaly. She's truly the brain rot queen as she rots all the enemies with her brain rot song. I will give her a rating of 9.5 out of 10 in the current state of Zenless on 0. Now for the second phase rerun, Zhu Yuan, the character that is realistically you want to have as a wife. Disclaimer, I don't have her, so I don't speak much about Zhu Yuan, but all of this will be based on people's opinion about her, especially on CC's experience of her. Extremely good mobility options and doesn't lower her performance but increase it instead. Repositioning ability that can help during battle to avoid enemies' attack, very reminiscent of Billy's kit. To add more on her mobility, with her built-in dash attack in her attack combo, it gives her small invulnerability mid combo that increases her survivability. A long-range character that utilizes burst damage, giving her long distance fight and fast damage output when doing her combo. Zhu Yuan is an agent that will deliver on what you want for a ranged melee kit, dealing massive ether burst damage to a stunned enemy. Her shotgun shell gauge, which can store up to 9 enhanced shells, is a focal point of her gear. Her basic attack and dash attack are strengthened by these shells. She alternates between assault mode and suppression mode. Assault mode, she uses the majority of her default attack in this mode. It focuses on producing enhanced shotgun shells while dealing little damage. Suppressive mode uses high damage charge attacks. To do it, Zhu Yuan will backflip before switching to suppressive mode while holding down the basic attack. Zhu Yuan will use 1 to 3 enhanced shotgun shells constantly while holding in this mode so that her burst attack can do a ton of damage. Zhu Yuan will offer a lot of variation of game style when using her depending on the situation, but there's a downside on her kit. She will be weaker without stun characters. She is heavily reliant on stunned enemies to deal maximum damage. Her damage output is also weaker without the enhanced shotgun shells and also the long duration to generate them. You need to have a specialized team for her and the investment for her is big. Overall, our wife's kit is perfect for a burst playstyle where you build her shells to increase your damage output. Even if she needs high investment, especially on her team, it will still be worth it for your account since her damage output can still go hand to hand with our current DPS in the game. She can literally met enemies even if they're not Ether weakness, except Ether resistant. I highly recommend her if you have stunner like Qingyi, which is best in slot for her, and with Ether support like Astra Yao and Nicole for free-to-play option. She still holds her ground as the best Ether DPS in the game because she's the only Ether DPS with 80.5 on the tier list. I will give her 8 out of 10 rating. Now for the sauce you guys have been waiting for, the new characters Soldier Zero, Anby, and Trigger. We still don't have official information about stats, but we do know their kit since it was revealed in the 1.6 special program. First off, Soldier Zero Anby, the Super Saiyan of A-Rank Anby. Her kit revolves around the new mechanic Aftershock, and the damage of this attack will further increase if there's a stun or support on your team. She uses dash attack and quick execution of attacks that will give her small invulnerability when doing combos. When she locks on enemies, her damage increases, and the enemy also takes increased crit damage from Aftershocks. Super Saiyan Anby looks like a very fast attacking dual-wielding agent that will utilize Aftershock to increase the damage output, using her marks that can stack up to 3 times, and she can consume this to deal damage and also give her more extra damage to the enemy that is considered as Aftershock damage. Since we can only assume because of her lack of stat information, it seems like the new mechanic will be her bread and butter as a electric DPS, and the characters that will also use this new mechanic. In my opinion, you guys don't need her, especially if you have characters like Yanagi and free S-rank electric character like Harumasa. But if for some unknown reason you didn't pull for Yanagi and you didn't claim Harumasa, then I highly recommend pulling for Super Saiyan Anby. Keep in mind that Super Saiyan Anby appears to be an expensive investment, especially given the demand for stunt characters that use the new mechanic Aftershock. Plus, she's an attack specialized character, so building her will also be difficult. As an attack agent, she will require stun characters who also use Aftershocks, which are most likely the new agents Trigger and, as a free-to-play option, Pulcra. The prediction ratings will be 8.6 out of 10, lowered because of a lot of powerful electric DPS alternatives. Speaking of a new stun character, let's now talk about Trigger, the Nikkei Jiggle character of Zenless Zero. A stun character that is long range and will have high survivability in combat. Also uses the new mechanic Aftershock and deals follow-up damage. Our first off-field stunner in the game, which also fixed the problem of stun characters being on-field all the time. She also has the mechanic to reveal enemy's weakness and will increase your DPS damage output. Trigat is, in my opinion, a must pull, with her kit revolving around building Purge, which is her only time when she's on-field, and using that Purge after switching to your DPS dealing follow-up attack every time your DPS uses EX special attack, ultimate, and other similar powerful move. Trigger's Purge is the same as Lighter's Morale and Qingyi's Subjugation. The difference is that Lighter and Qingyi consume it on-field, and Trigger will consume hers off-field using the new mechanic Aftershock. This makes her the first stunner that has low on-field and deals days off-field. I'm not even gonna be surprised when she gets put as a tier 0 in the tier list. She's 100% gonna be used on Super Saiyan Anby, since Super Saiyan Anby needs a character that uses Aftershock. But Trigger's Aftershock can be activated by any character, and that makes her a very flexible stun character that you can use on almost every DPS in the game. Even if we still don't have the stats for her kit, we cannot ignore the value of a stun that deals days off-field. My two problem about her being off-field is when doing chain attack and how it will change the rotation. And also one more problem that I think she will have is how fast can she stun, but we will see when she comes out. I will bet that she's gonna be the best stunner in the game and will actually power creep Qingyi, sadly. My prediction rating is gonna be 9 out of 10. Not giving her 10 because of the possible problem she might experience. If Zenless Zero devs for some reason didn't include the problem I'm thinking of, then she might be a 10. In conclusion of the characters we're gonna have on 1.6, I will definitely have my eyes on Burnice and Trigger, since they have a great addition to your comms, especially since they bring big value on your account. When it comes to Zhu Yuan and Super Saiyan Anby, I highly recommend you to pull for them if you have the characters that will be good for them or best in slot, since they both rely relying a lot on stunt characters. And lastly, of course, I always say this to players who ask me who to pull for the characters you'd like. But make sure you invest in them and not just throw your pulls on every character without planning or thinking who to pull. Investing and thinking is really needed for a gacha game. Spending recklessly and being greedy might lead your account to get pricked. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know down below what you think and your pulling plans in 1.6. Like and subscribe if you don't want me to steal your mom. Bye!